Hello, my name's Rob Montemurro, principal of Washington Middle School. Here at Washington Middle School, we have a collaborative culture of learning and teaching. Our instructional data teams meet weekly to examine student pre- and post-test assessments and to analyze data with the purpose of adjusting teacher instruction to improve student achievement.
So we're here from the 7th grade instructional data team, the social studies data team, and we have our data for our last assessment. We have a golden band of ELL students that we've collected data on. Our SMART goal for this assessment was that students were to be 80% proficient by the end of this assessment, and these are all open-ended response questions. And some of the strengths and weaknesses that we found as a team were that the strengths were students had good conclusion sentences, made good personal connections, were engaged in the topic, and had some previous knowledge of the topic. Some of their weaknesses were that their details were a little bit disorganized and were sometimes in the topic sentence. And they also had vague details that were not from the text, so they were just taking details from their own experiences and not looking back into the text. Because those were the weaknesses that we saw, we then took 2 of those weaknesses. Student responses were disorganized and they did not have specific details from the text, and our 2 possible instructional strategies to go along with that were we used advanced graphic organizers and we modeled looking back into the text.
So in my classroom, one of the strategies that we used was modeling looking back in the text to find evidence. So we took the document that we used to write our passage and we reviewed how to analyze the passage for topic sentences and information that would be useful in responding to our open-ended question. So we started with actually looking at the title of the document first and analyzing what the title would give us as far as a topic. And then we looked for other things like subheadings, and if there was a picture that went with the text, could it be useful in helping us decipher which details we may want to include in our answer. So from those key steps, we then actually delve into looking at the document itself. Okay, so we have the second bad omen. That was where the temple burst into flames. How do you think the people felt? They couldn't explain it.
Like they felt like really mad because, it was like their property and all that.
Okay, so in my opinion, I believe then that people would have listened to the omens.
Okay, so one of our problems was that students had initiated their responses a little inappropriately. We had a lot of really well-written topic sentence, but many of the students were making the same errors that they had previous to this. So we had students that hadn't separated the details from the topic sentence itself. They wouldn't turn the question around and answer the question before entering in details. So we felt that the way that we could fix this problem was by coming up with an advanced graphic organizer, the little Oreo cookie technique, where previously we were using just the kind of entirely open-ended, really unguided. So ultimately, this is obviously what we want to work towards. We want students to be able to look at this and know that they need to start off with an appropriate topic sentence that's separated from the details. But we felt like this would help them get there. So there's a little open-ended response section where they respond directly to the question. And then in the body of their response, they want to be able to enter in the actual details from the text. So, and because of this advanced organizer, we're expecting to see higher student performance and a higher level of proficiency on our next CFA.
I think one important idea too is the fact that you had mentioned that your students were familiar with the organizer, that the ILA teachers were also using the advanced organizer and the rubric for scoring, and that any type of consistent instruction that we can provide to our students is going to help them achieve success as well.
After teachers analyze student work and identify which areas of student needs are most important to work on during Step 3 of the data team process, teachers then select the instructional strategies and determine the results indicators during Step 4 and 5 of the data team process. Consequently, the teachers then practice their strategies selected in the classroom before meeting again and before administering the post-assessment to the students. Maybe this is a good time that we look at the gap data that Michelle had presented to us, and I passed out to everyone and is up on the board there. And I think maybe specifically looking at the non-ELL and ELL group achievement data that is in our district improvement plan as one of our initiatives in reducing. As you can see, in the 6th grade, we pretty much have flatlined as far as any reduction in achievement gap. But looking at 7th and 8th grade, it's a significant reduction. As you can see, in the 7th grade, we went from 57% to 39%. and from 68% to 41%.
And that is an 18% drop in 7th grade and a 27% drop in 8th grade, which is statistically significant.
Yeah, really nice. That 6th grade gap has increased 2% though. So that's something that we'll need to work with in the coming years in order to bring this group of students up to par.
And 8th grade ILA instructional data team, because we did have such a statistically significant decrease in the gap, has been working in sharing some of our instructional strategies with grade 6 in particular to see if there's any kind of correlation between our instructional strategies and the improvements we're seeing. I hope that we can close that achievement gap for grade 6 as well.
Patrick, could you maybe at the next meeting that we have share some of the strategies that the 6th grade ILA teachers are finding helpful from the 8th grade?
Absolutely, I think that'd be a good idea to bring it back to this team.
Next month, what I'd like to do also, Carl, if you can put it in our agenda for next month, I'd like to look at the math achievement gap data that Donna will provide for us, and also our referral Swiss data, how it pertains to district improvement plan, and also, as you all know, that's part of one of our initiatives in the district improvement plan is reducing suspensions and referrals as it relates to PBIS. So I think that'd be important to look at our next meeting and come back to the table and provide some more solutions, hopefully to where we need to go in our district improvement plan.